Reclaiming Timeless Ways. Mike Traister, along with Simon Fuller, and you. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate that. And as we talk each and every show about trying to improve, do good, give you something to hopefully take away and either personally grow from or share with somebody who might be in line with the topic that we're discussing. We hope you do that by sharing the channel, and of course to your friends and family, and subscribing as well, so you can get the new content when we post it, as we've been working on a lot of shows lately, Mike, so we're going to see a lot of these shows popping up, and if you're subscribed, you hit the little bell, you're going to get notifications when that new show posts. So with all that being said, Mike, what are we going to be diving into today?
Burnout, tiredness, and exhaustion. And it can cover work, family, exercise, just being, right? So I wrote a list of things that could be triggers or contributors, right? One is sleep. We talked about this earlier. You need a schedule, you need continuity, room temperature, background noise, light, how late you exercise. Because when you exercise late, your base metabolic rate is raised. It's hard to sleep, right? Drugs, alcohol, coffee, So those things need to be in agreement with your sleep schedule.
Right.
And I'll just leave it at that. And you can figure it out because you're smart.
Right. If you're tired and exhausted, you probably need a little more of it.
Right. B vitamins.
Yeah.
Sometimes B vitamins affect your state of mind. If you're over 60 and you think you might not have some of your B vitamins, you can just take a B vitamin and hold it under your tongue. And it will absorb under your tongue. That way you don't necessarily need, this is not absolute medical certitude, but a lot of times people can just take a B vitamin, like a B complex, and put it under their tongue, and they'll absorb it sublingually and improve, like B12, because B12 requires a compound called the intrinsic factor to get absorbed through the gut, right? So it can be absorbed to some degree just right under the tongue, and that's helpful for your state of mind.
Sure.
Light in the room, which we've already discussed, possibly noise, earplugs, or turn off the noise if you can. A white sound generator. White sound is just they make these white sound generators. They run between $30 and $100, and you could probably go on Amazon or eBay, right? And find one, and then you get your choice of sounds. Like some of the sounds I like, some of them drive me nuts, like waves and rain on a tin roof, just soft in the background. Those are great for me. Some people like the sound of a birdhouse. I hate it. So
Celestial fan, which my brother always has a fan on. Rain, white noise.
Right.
You've got the rainstorm, which is kind of similar.
Right.
Like you say, a lot of different. The rushing river rapids. Just different, like you said, different styles or kinds of that.
So a lot of this stuff is simple, right? If you think in terms of, if you think in a circle, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem, I hate this is bad, this is never going to change. If you talk to yourself in a circuitous manner, you will never give yourself permission to sleep.
Right.
You can give yourself permission to stop that.
Right.
To say, okay, now I'm allowed to not think about this. If you try to force yourself, that becomes the new obsession.
Right.
But if you allow yourself to not think about it, and you might have to repeat that many times before it becomes a new habit, right? So late coffee, definitely going to interfere with your sleep. Now, are there exceptions? Rare, but yes, some people drink coffee and they go to sleep. Is that the rule? No, that's the exception.
I would say so. But I have met those folks, and I often think, how do you do that?
Right, yeah.
But that's just me.
Right.
And again, caffeine affects. On the flip side, my wife can have a sip
Right.
and be bouncing off the wall. So
Okay.
everyone has a different caffeine tolerance, I suppose, or how they
Absolutely.
metabolize it.
Right. Room temperature. There are ideal room temperatures for different individuals.
Right.
That affects your head, your body, just your state of rhythm. Most people seem to like a room a little bit cool to
Right.
sleep. Again, you got to find what works for you, your nature, right? Apnea. So if you have like a chronic obstructive breathing issue when you're asleep, when your throat relaxes, and then your airway partly closes, and you snore really loud, like there's a train coming through your living room. Maybe you might have apnea, and you might need to get that worked up
Yeah.
and see if you need a BiPAP or a CPAP or whatever PAP they're using this month.
Right.
You know, some drugs will help relax your airway too much, and they can worsen it. Weight is a contributor to that for some people. Allergies and asthma. Obviously, if you're struggling to breathe, you're going to have a hard time sleeping, and then you're going to be sleep deprived. So, you know, maybe you could talk to your doc about what would be a safe allergy medicine or asthma medication, or what are your asthma triggers,
Right.
right? Like some people, some cleaning cleaning sprays are triggers for some people. They work for me. For other people, it's dust. For other people, it's exercise induced, or it's exercise in cold weather. Or some people are triggered by cat dander,
Yeah.
right? And it's not the hair, it's the dander that seems to set people off. Relational or work stress. And again, this gets down to three columns on a page. These are the things I can improve a lot. These are the things I can modify, and these are the things I can't affect. Right? So you make your list. Maybe you've got 10 problems, and of the 10, 8 wind up in the first or second column. You only have 1 or 2 that you can't affect. So if you look at it that way, then you say, okay, so here's my problems that I can affect. What can I do that's simple and repeatable, right? Substance abuse, you know, that's self-descriptive. If you're doing speed or whatever, you know, ups or downs, it's going to affect your ability to have normal sleep and normal dream cycles. And that, you need medical support for that. And you're not going to get it here, because that would be me over-defining the limits of my skill. Stretching. When your muscles are tight, you're uncomfortable and you're distracted from sleep. You can't relax. So stretch. Again, a 2-minute stretching routine that you can do is much better than a 15-minute one that you can't do,
Sure.
right? Depression, pain, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. Somebody once said this, and it made a lot of sense. They said post-traumatic stress is a reasonable or a sane reaction to an insane situation, right? So if you got jumped at and hit, you know, you might be flinching, right? Or if there was a huge gold sign on the side of the road at the moment when you were in that unexpected motor vehicle accident, maybe gold color would be a trigger to put you back in that state. So you ask yourself, something triggers me. I know I can figure it out. You don't have to be in a hurry. What is the trigger? And then you can observe it and you can say, okay, so what changes? Well, my muscles get tense, my eyes get fixed, my breathing gets tight. Well, now can you change those things one at a time? If I'm in the car and I start gripping the steering wheel with violent tightness, right? And I tighten my traps and my chest and my stomach and my eyes are fixed. What happens if I say to myself, okay, I'm going to move my eyes a little bit? Obviously, I need to keep looking at the road, right? Or I'm going to reduce my grip 30%. Take a deeper breath. I'm going to let my stomach relax. So these are all parts of panic actions, right? panic programs, and if you observe the different ways that you are manifesting your panic, right, and you modify them to reduce them a little at a time, progressively, you can start to reduce the learned behavior of panic and improve yourself. You can get help to do it, or you can do it on your own. You have to evaluate that on your own. So,
We talk about just in general then the burnout, the being tired, and
right.
ultimately, sleep is a huge piece of the solution. A big part of the problem too is, and I like kind of where you're going into that list, defining or recognizing the problem is really the first step
Right.
before you get into the cure side of it. And there are a lot of things that can burn you out. And identifying whether it is work, whether it is a person, whether it is a situation, a thought, a
Right.
PTSD solution. I guess I don't know really where I'm trying to go with this, Mike, other than, that is where it all begins. And if you've got something going on, I guess I'm trying to ask you more than I'm trying to state here, Mike. Where is the problem start, and what do I need to do before the sleep? The sleep is good, I guess.
Right. Well, here's one example. This is me. If you can't do something as well as you once could, if it changed, you shouldn't shame yourself. You can
Yeah.
accept. So like when I was in my car wreck and I had a very severe concussion, it permanently altered my sleep patterns, right? Can I do things to make them less altered? Yes. Can I fix it completely? Haven't figured that out yet. So I can either accept that or I can shame myself. That's up to me,
Yeah.
right? So if I accept it, that's one less problem on my list.
Sure.
If I shame myself, that's one more problem.
Yeah.
So which is better, right? Really, it's that simple. So now the question is, do I have sleep difficulty or am I sleep difficulty?
Yeah.
Is it something I have to deal with or is it me?
Yeah.
It's something I have to deal with. It's not me. I don't, it's like I've blown a couple discs out saving a man's life in a medical facility where his lift broke and I caught him. Now, they hurt. And is it going to fix itself? It hasn't fixed itself yet. Is it a little better? Yeah, but it's still like crap. So, is that something I should use to shame myself? Absolutely not. Can I accept that that happened? Yes. Can I also accept that it pisses me off? Yeah.
Use it for a motivator
Right.
versus doom and gloom. That's
Right.
sealed my.
Right.
That's the letter that's written for me, so to speak.
Right. This is the doom and gloom would be this is going to ruin my life.
It'll never be the same. You're right.
Right.
But what are you going to do next?
Right. So if I make those statements, how many things have I cut myself off from?
Right.
So I can't walk 2 miles at a time, especially rapidly. But I could walk a half a mile 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I could stretch for 30 seconds and I'm good to go in an hour for another walk, I think my max is about a mile and a half, and at which point I'm getting miserable.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Very good. Well, we always appreciate you sharing some of your insights, thoughts, and just real life experiences. A lot of these, that's where they originate from. Something you've either dealt with in many cases or have seen, and how did you deal with it, and what practical takeaways can you share with others in hopes that
there's a lot of good stuff. You have to use your filter, which is your brain, your common sense, right? And ask yourself if you're being conned or sold a bill of goods. But there are some people who, have gone through various challenges in life and come out getting better not perfect, right? Perfect is a movie. But they've come out with a list of things to do to fight and improve. And so, like things like YouTube, and there's some other YouTube-like sites, which I don't use, but I could. And it's like, as long as you keep searching, you're going to find little tools that help you.
Yeah. Eventually you'll fill that toolbox up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Mike. Appreciate your information. Until next time, have a great day. This is Mike and Simon saying so long for Reclaiming Timeless Ways.
Thank you.